right? It's boiler room, is it? Yes. So, do I have a clicker? Yes, so I decided to choose this topic for my today's talk because I have noticed something while working with teachers or while interviewing teachers, which I do for some of my business projects. And there is something that teachers mentioned, even those teachers who actually have years of experience, who have attended multiple conferences like this, who have lots of students and good reviews and everything. And so even those teachers, myself included actually, often underestimate themselves. They don't see themselves as experts. You know, they usually think that an expert is somebody out there, somebody with more followers on Instagram, somebody who wrote books, or somebody who, I don't know, speaks at big conferences, but they never consider themselves experts, or rarely do they. And when they have a problem, when, like, as we all do, right? Classroom problems like, I don't know, your young learners stopped doing homework, or your ESP adult student looks bored and, I don't know, skips classes, or just an activity didn't go as planned. So in these cases, teachers often, they tend to turn outward and seek an answer or a solution elsewhere. And actually, yeah, I have the next slide, which can I, maybe you can help me? Just next slide. Yeah, so, okay, really bad quality, but I'll read it to you. So this is a message that I received recently for a participant from one of the courses I'm now running for teachers. It's a course where we talk about, where we try and do action research, classroom research, and reflective practice. And so the message says, I want to share this with you. A few days ago, I came across some paid materials, a workshop and a PDF that offered solutions to the homework problem. So the teacher was trying to explore this, like her students not doing homework. I found myself feeling imposter syndrome, thinking someone could do such research better and that if I should just buy it. Previously, I would feel demotivated and buy the materials or put the problem off until later, feeling unsatisfied. But this time I stopped myself, remembered our lessons, and realized I now have the tools to work through such research step by step. It doesn't feel so difficult anymore, and I wanted to prove to myself that I can do it. So I want you to first pay attention to the first part of this message, where the teacher says that her initial reaction was to go and buy somebody else's materials. And I think this is what we often do when we have a problem. We go and immediately, I don't know, try and read another book, or we buy another course, or save another Instagram post, or whatever. So we start applying somebody else's ideas too fast without this gap in between, without stopping to think. And so, of course, I was very happy when I got this message, the teacher saying that she actually stopped herself from buying those materials. And I don't have anything against people buying other teachers' materials. And I don't have anything against reading books. I love books. And I don't have anything against courses. I create courses, but I just wanted to say that there is a very rich source of professional knowledge that we very often miss out on, and this is our own experience and our own experiences, and what is happening in our classroom and what is happening inside ourselves. So this is the message that I want to share today through this talk. And this is the message I'm happy that this teacher got, that you can look inside for answers. because, yeah, my talk is called Finding Your Unique Voice. But in order to find your voice, you first need to reconnect with yourself and with what's going on inside of you. And then you need to reconnect with people in your classroom. And only after that, you can go further and read literature and research more. Right, I think, sorry guys, don't remember if I need the next slide or not. Yeah, yeah. So these are the beliefs that I would like to challenge today through this talk. Like, I have nothing special to share. I'm not an expert. So we will talk a little bit about that. And I think this often, yeah. But first, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. Right? I got carried away by the talk. So my name is Tamara Ilya. Some of you know me. I know some of you. Happy to see you. Thanks for coming to my talk. So I've been in ELT for about 15 years, and for around 7 years I've been blogging about that. So I have my page on Instagram that started as a page for students. Then I have my Telegram channel, which is mostly for teachers. I recently also started Substack because I'm tired of this short form content. I want to write longer pieces, like, you know, in the good Facebook days. So I want to come back to that. I also have my project, Teachers for Teachers, which also has been running for quite a while, since 2017. And this is, let's call it a professional event agency, because we organize offline and online events. So it started with Hugh Deller's visit to Ukraine, and then there was Scott Thornberry and other big names. Sorry, I need to do some name dropping. And Chris Graham came to our recent Forward Festival, which we did not so long ago, in March this year. And this was the most logistically complex event that I have ever done. So really proud of that. Yeah, besides, I'm telling you all this, because of course I need to advertise myself, that's why I'm here, but also because just wanted to say that throughout all these years, I had to talk about my projects. I had to share publicly because I had to share information about what I do, and that's why some things that I will be talking about, I lived through them. All right, so what about you guys? How many of you have let's say, how many of you have a blog? Or, like, you know, share something publicly in one or another form? Yes.
Just ordinary Instagram,
Yeah, I call it a blog. Yeah, I mean, if it's professional page, yeah.
But it's not probably Facebook.
If you post cats there, then no. If you Facebook, okay, yeah, yeah. Okay, how many of you would like to share something about their professional life publicly? Are there people like this? You do? Or
well, I'm not sure about that.
I think you do. You're quite famous in the ELT circles, yes. So, okay, some people said like this, yeah, I would like. And I think this is the feeling that some people often get when we want to share something publicly, but we feel like, but who am I? Like, what am I going to share? I'm just a normal teacher. Like, I do what everyone else does, right? I teach grammar, I teach vocabulary, I prepare for exams. Like, what is there to share? But I think the problem is that we look at ourselves from, you know, this big perspective. We look at ourselves from far away. But maybe a solution would be to zoom in a little bit, well, or maybe a lot, and try to notice, not just to look at the big picture, but start with smaller moments. Notice moments. And this is actually something I suggest we do now. I will give you a little task. By the way, you all have your notebooks and pens, right? Or phones, whatever, something to write on or in. And I suggest we do a little exercise that I learned from a writing workshop. And so the exercise will be this. I will ask you to think about one recent moment from your teaching that stayed with you. It doesn't have to be anything big. It doesn't have to be like, okay, my student passed IELTS with band 9 or something like this. It can be something small. I don't know, like everyone laughed at my joke, or during an activity, I felt like students are learning something. I saw some signs that told me that they're enjoying and they are benefiting from this activity. Or maybe, I don't know, like you recently had a lesson after which you know, when you finished it, you felt, okay, this just felt right. I feel like fulfilled. So yeah, remember it. Anything small. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to write about it. Imagine you wanted to share this story with others, okay, somehow. So let's take 5 minutes to write.
It's in the form of block, yeah, to describe the here.
Yeah, for example.
Okay.
Has to be here in text or just bullet points?
Actually, as you wish. No restrictions. Yeah, right in your head, yeah. Okay, I think we started a little later, so maybe 1 more minute and we'll be finishing. Okay, maybe let's round up, finish the sentence you're writing. And yeah, if you don't mind, can you share with the people next to you? I can hear.
My student who struggled with IELTS reading section most, and then we made an exam on the section, and
For the weather, for this weather.
he got the best result in this section on IELTS.
Okay, I said don't write about IELTS, and you're like, okay.
Oh, it was not band 9, it was just band 8 for reading. So, I'm joking. It's cute, that's great.
Not good enough.
I hate reading.
Wow.
That was surprising for me, for him, and for his mom as well.
Cool. Great. What do you think? What do you think made this possible?
We focused ourselves on his weakness. It was obviously complex lection, complex grammar, and also complex vocabulary. In this huge text, he struggled with understanding this vocabulary and matching it with its synonyms. And, well, we focused on this point. That's why he got the best of it. But he was sure he'll get the best result in IELTS listening, which he didn't. And it was surprising for
Never
us
know.
as well. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. What about you?
One day I taught reading moments, and we were drilling one text. It wasn't a big one, just some sentences with young children, but it wasn't in a textbook. It was in some video moments, some video
Materials.
It wasn't in a book, so it was in the screen. And when we were reading it through this smartboard, it was up to children, and they were reading with enjoyment, and they like it because it was not a book. So if you read something which can be up to children, it's okay. So they read it without any hesitations, and it was nice. And we understand, and then we just discussed this text after that, and it was great. But it was the same, but not a book. It was not just something.
So the medium changed, right? So and it,
That they just dislike this, just change the focus.
so it just changed the form, right?
Yeah, and
But the text was the same. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting observation.
because this generation is
Oh my God.
too digital.
Yeah, but actually, I don't know. I'm so tired of screens. I want to read from a normal book, but they're not. Yeah, yeah, they're different. Okay, thanks for sharing, girls.
There you go. So in this theoretically, innovators for smaller groups of all levels, and some of the applications we all have, some of them did, and they will have some of those members fun. And this is all of that activity. I deliver in usually like to speech and workshops here, UATEFL, whatever. I hope so. I mean, maybe it's gross. But if I would have been accepted, so I will be, if I make it there, speech on
Feel free. I only rehearsed the first part of my talk. So if you leave now, it's going to be okay. All right, sorry, I have to stop you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is what you need, just give a question to discuss, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's stop. Can you tell me if I'm just wondering if your partner has shared a big or a small moment with you? A big moment. Okay, anybody shared a small moment? Just wondering.
I shared probably small moments.
Okay, cool. All of the moments.
All of the moments we shared are big for us, and in the same way they are the small in our everyday teaching process.
Okay. Yeah. They can be some things.
All of them are just steps by steps
Yeah.
of our procedure of teaching, of working.
Exactly. Yes. So they're small, but they're important. They're significant. Yes. Okay. There is actually a second part to this exercise, which is can you now take this story? We will take maybe a little shorter, let's say 3 minutes, and I want you to tell about this moment again, but imagine you are telling it to a colleague, but a colleague who is also your friend, you know, you get on really well, and maybe you're not at work now, you're at a bar or somewhere else. And so you need to tell her or him about what happened. Can I give you another 3 minutes to tell the same story, but imagine a different audience? But no, sorry. I wasn't clear. Sorry, I wasn't clear that. It's a writing exercise. I meant tell it in writing, okay? Yes, sorry, my bad. So write this story again, yes, write it again, but as if you're telling it to a good friend slash colleague, okay? And we will use these remaining 3 minutes, okay? Походу, да. Ну ладно, в принципе. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, I will not ask you to share with a partner now, but can you maybe share with us, with everyone, if this time and the first time you wrote the story, if they were different?
Well, the story itself was the same.
Yeah, the story was the same.
Yeah,
How?
but the way of telling the story was
Yeah.
completely different.
Okay, and so how different was it for you, Alona?
Well, it was easier for me to tell the story, like even to myself as to a friend, but it was rather difficult to write it in this way. You know, it's very difficult to write in a
Ah, boa.
Like in informal, you know what happened, you know, it's easier to say that, you know, like movement, tone, voice, and all of this stuff. But to write it down is a little bit more complicated. But it was easier to tell, actually, to tell.
Yeah,
the
so
story.
actually to hear yourself,
To
yeah, to hear
yes,
your
exactly.
own.
Imagining myself telling to someone sitting in front of me and understanding me, right? Understand what I'm talking about.
Yes,
I wonder,
yes.
does text to speech count?
The
I
what?
just text to speech, so I just
Oh,
actually
that's
pronounce
what
it
you
and
were
then
doing
the
there.
phone transcribes when I have the text.
Yeah,
But it's very safe
why
to
not?
practice it.
Yeah, I will talk more about this, but yeah, different formats are, I mean, as long as it works for you. So yeah, I think, well, what Alona said, I think, well, I personally also agree, and I think many people would agree when they do this exercise, they feel like the second time it feels like writing feels easier, the story feels more honest, and this is because we are imagining that we are talking to someone who is our friend, so someone who supports us, someone who is not going to be judging us, someone who, yeah, maybe understands us and has our best interest in mind. So the point is, why not do that all the time when you try and share something? Why not imagine this supportive friend in your head? Because I think what usually happens, at least to me, is when I want to share something, I imagine like the worst enemy listening to me, you know, somebody saying like, who do you think you are? Or, oh my God, this has been said millions of times, and you know, and so on and so forth. So I don't know, why don't we just imagine this supportive friend? And this is, I think, the first step to finding your unique voice. I mean, maybe the second step. The first step is reconnecting with yourself, but the second step is, you know, to find your voice, you shouldn't be trying to sound like someone else. You shouldn't be trying to sound as like an expert. You should just be trying to not sound like someone else, to sound like yourself. I think I have this on the slide. Yeah. Your unique voice doesn't appear when you try to sound like an expert. It appears when you stop trying to sound like someone else. Okay, and so what we were doing here with the story, with these moments, this is something that I started doing more often now. I started noting down these small moments that actually make up my teaching. In order not to lose them, because you know, every time you think, oh, that was a great lesson, or some like I have a great thought, and then you think I'll remember it later. But unfortunately, very often we forget. So collecting these moments is like collecting evidence, your own evidence that helps you understand what kind of teacher you are, because then you can come back to this evidence. And this brings me to my next point. So this is something I am now trying to do more often, and I'm also trying to motivate my teacher learners to do, is to keep a teaching journal. Keeping a teaching journal doesn't mean that you need to write pages of reflective notes or that you need to write stories like these all the time, but it means that you just keep track of those moments. They can be moments when you felt really good, moments when you felt really confused, or when something went not very well, or when you notice something about your students. So basically, this is something that helps you to pay attention and collect this. You don't have to do this every day, but I mean, you can do this even during a lesson. Like, you know, we have cold and hot feedback, right? Something that when we do error correction. So we can do it on the spot, but we can also do it later. The same with reflective notes. You can do it during the lesson. You can also do it after the lesson. And then maybe also you can choose a day, a week, where you look through these notes and see what patterns are appearing. And then maybe, who knows where that will lead you. Because these notes, they can become different things. I mean, yeah, they can stay in your teaching journal, and this is absolutely fine if they don't go anywhere else, but they can also become content. So they can become Instagram post or a blog post, or they can even become a longer piece, an article, if you collect many of such notes and then you see a pattern and then you think how to structure them. Or they can become actually a conference talk. So something that is happening right now. I've been noticing something about my interests, about the group I'm teaching now, and that's how I came up with this topic. So I realized this is something that is important for me to talk about. Right. Yes, I also wanted to mention that besides shorter form content, you can also think about writing an article for a professional magazine. For example, here you can see Modern English Teacher. This is a magazine from Pavilion Publishing. And, you know, when somebody looks at this magazine and they think, oh, the authors there are like big experts. They are probably, I don't know, some professors at some universities, or I don't know, they're authors of best-selling books. But actually, if you read the articles, many of the articles are written by practicing teachers, and some of these teachers are like new to the job. They're like 3 years in teaching or something like this. So it's not about how many years you have been teaching, it's rather about how attentive you are to your experiences. So maybe this article started with someone noticing something interesting about their classroom, and then they started to research it, and then they started to pay more attention, and so on and so forth. And that's how they came to the topic of the article. Maybe there was an experiment in the classroom. Yeah, they tried something and maybe it worked, or maybe it didn't. It doesn't actually matter. What matters is the process and your reflections as you go. So yeah, the reflection that you can share later. Right. Sorry, God. Oh yeah, I wanted to share this. This is thanks to Chris and UATEFL. They have this format of lightning talks. These are short talks. And at this event I organized in March, the Forward Festival, we decided to also introduce this format. And this was amazing. So a lightning talk is a 5-minute, is a short talk. And so we decided to open several slots for people who are afraid, maybe afraid to try this full form talk, and they just would like to get the feel of it. And I was amazed. I think for me it was one of the highlights, one of the best parts, because people who came there, they brought very different topics. One of them told us about using films in the classroom. Another girl talked about how she, the ups and downs of running her own school. Or another one talked about how she walked the Camino de Santiago and how it helped her understand her students. So it was amazing, and everybody was, listening actively. And yeah, so these talks, they were not something universal. They didn't cover, they didn't answer all questions that you have about teaching, but they pinpointed one thing and they were passionate about this thing. And I think this is a great way to share what you are passionate about, and this can lead to further discovery, investigation, research. You can inspire someone, you never know. And actually you can inspire yourself, because I think by collecting this evidence, by thinking about how you're going to share it with others, and by actually sharing, you actually learn more, and you process information better. Because maybe we tend to think that, okay, I first need to learn and do something big, and then I can share about it. But it actually can, it's like a double-edged sword. It can go both ways, and you can start sharing, and when you need to share it with others, it means you need to dig deeper, you need to research more, and so this can be a way to develop professionally. So yeah, what if you don't need to be an expert to share? What if sharing is actually one of the things that helps you become an expert? Right. I think I was very nervous, so I talked very quickly, but actually maybe you will be happy that you will leave this room fast. So I want to, thank you. Hope this QR code works. Get in touch. I'm Professor Ila on Instagram. If this QR code doesn't work, then all other links are on my Instagram. And if you're not on Instagram, you can come up to me, and I will share a different way. And yes, and I am also going to raffle. There will be a raffle at the end of day 2, and I want to raffle one kind of like consultation with me. And if one of you happens to win it, will be great to work with your voice, and I'll be happy to help you find your unique thing and how you can talk about it with others. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
О, клас, клас.
Подобається ваші рецепти. Я так для себе багато що таке